Why don't we send our trash to space? A simple idea with cosmic problems. At first glance, the idea seems irresistible. Faced with overflowing landfills, plastic-filled oceans, and mounting environmental anxiety, why not load our waste onto rockets and fire it into space? After all, space is vast, empty, and far away. Compared to the scale of the universe, Earth's rubbish problem might seem trivial. Yet this seemingly elegant solution collapses under closer scientific, economic, and ethical scrutiny. The most immediate obstacle is cost. Launching objects into space remains extraordinarily expensive. Even with modern reusable rockets, sending a single kilogram into orbit costs thousands of pounds. The world produces over 2 billion tons of waste each year. Launching even a tiny fraction of that mass would dwarf the budgets of every space agency combined. Spaceflight may be cheaper than it once was, but it is nowhere near cheap enough to function as a global waste disposal system. Safety is an even more serious concern. Rockets fail. While launch success rates are high, they are not perfect. A single explosion during liftoff could scatter toxic or radioactive waste across populated areas or ecosystems, turning an environmental problem into a catastrophe. The risk would multiply with the thousands of launches required to make any meaningful dent in global waste. Then there is the problem of space itself. Earth's orbit is already crowded with satellites and debris. Adding waste into orbit would worsen the growing threat of space junk, fragments traveling at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour, capable of destroying satellites or endangering astronauts. Even sending trash toward the sun or deep space is far more complex than it sounds. Achieving escape trajectories requires additional fuel and precision, further driving up cost and risk. Environmental impact does not end once the rocket leaves the ground. Rocket launches produce significant emissions and release pollutants into the upper atmosphere, where their effects are not fully understood. Solving one environmental crisis by intensifying another is hardly a sustainable strategy. There is also an ethical dimension. Sending trash into space treats waste as something to be hidden rather than addressed. It avoids confronting the deeper causes of the problem: overconsumption, inefficient design, and short product lifespans. In this sense, the idea mirrors past attempts to solve pollution by exporting it elsewhere, often with harmful consequences. Space exploration itself has limited capacity and higher priorities. Rockets, funding, and expertise are already stretched between scientific research, climate monitoring, communication networks, and planetary defense. Using this infrastructure as a cosmic rubbish service would undermine missions that expand knowledge and protect Earth. The fantasy of space disposal reveals more about human psychology than engineering. It reflects a desire for clean, distant solutions to problems created close to home. The real challenge of waste management lies not above the atmosphere, but within it, through reduction, reuse, recycling, and systemic change. Space may be vast, but responsibility is not something we can launch away.